here, let's go back to like driving dance number 5, and then, kind of, oh, that's the wrong one. That's not even the right one. I mean, that's a version of it that I tried to do beforehand, and I don't know, I kind of like that one too. Um, but it's like, let's see here, don't save. Let's go to pretend. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, okay. Check this one out. Um, so yeah, driving dance and then drive the car. So I think this is the most finished version of this one. Look at all those damn keyframes.
Haha,
And
that's
then
cute.
the knees are all wonky, but because I tried to adjust it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the IK knee controllers are way over here. They're in the wrong spot. I didn't adjust those, but
I hate the knees. I hate knees. Moving
well,
those around.
yeah. It's like, especially with the feet, if you do those with IK, you've got to do the knees with IK, otherwise you get those weird pops. And yeah, for me it's like it makes more sense to control those um with forward kinematics, that sort of rotation. So here this should, whatever. That's all fucked up. Anyway, um so now if I go on to the next one, so drive the car, this one is, she's so happy doing this. I like this reference footage. So I like you, I like rage, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna start all the way from scratch. So here I'm just gonna go back and look at the most current, or the most advanced one, and maybe decide to clean this one up. I don't know. Here, let's make this one bigger. Tell me what you think. Yeah, so I just need to go back and finish that, finish out that cycle. Oh, come on, why aren't you? Shit. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so goes to the left, goes to the right, goes back to the left, and then yeah, I just need to tighten that up. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna clean this one up and then be done with this one because um I was kind of thinking this would be fun for people at Vroomway because it's driving.
Hmm.
This one was actually requested by a client, and then we decided to go a different direction, and they gave me the ability to shop it around. So I showed it to the people of Vroomway, and they passed on it, but I still think it's a nice. It is worthy. It is worthy of being published. It is worthy of my
Yeah,
time and finances to get this published. So I don't know. What do you think, Kanessa? Should I
I like
start
it.
from scratch or should I clean this one up?
Let's see. No, I think that's great.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think it's great. Be funny to do a little like the elbow like the hand down like toot toot like at the end.
Oh,
Toot, toot. I don't know, something
oh,
funny.
like the truck driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, no, that's a good idea. I was just trying to think of, an endless loop, kind of like Doki's hip sway, where you can just set
Yeah,
it up and then that's like your AFK dance that you know it's not one of the default dances, and it's interesting enough that like okay, last night at Blease's Beyond the NFT, I really I enjoyed listening, and um, when I'm there, uh, socializing with other people, then I'll like move around and do different dances and chat and stuff like that. But Beyond the NFT it's this interesting thing where we like commune in a common place, but we're all listening to
yeah,
the interview, whatever we're looking at what's on the screen or on Twitch or whatever. It's an interesting hybrid of like a podcast, but it's a live interview, kind of like when you go into an auditorium and you see, I don't know, Stephen Colbert interview Michael deGrasse Tyson, right?
yeah.
There's like that's an interesting conversation, and it's really fascinating to be there. Um, but I'm not walking around sipping cocktails and getting hors d'oeuvres and stuff while that's happening. I'm just sitting. So I I turned off auto dance, and I used your new relaxing emote.
Oh, cool. Yeah. It's funny how like uh sometimes like I don't want to dance. Like when I started getting sick with COVID, I was like,
Hmm.
I just plopped my avatar down on the couch at True. It was like weird. I was like, I don't even want to see my avatar dance. I just want to relax and like lay there because that's how I felt in real life. So I don't know. It's like I kind of want to explore that thought more of like, do you really convey your like feelings in the real world through your avatar? Like if you got energy, then maybe you have like more active dance going on. But if you feel like just laying on the couch, I don't know. It's
Hmm.
like, well, I don't want to see my avatar dance. I think there's so much more than we're giving the avatars credit for. Like, I don't know, extension of ourselves. But that's like a whole metaphysical book shit that we could write on on that kind of stuff.
So you mean like your avatar is not just an extension, but it sometimes is a driver of your personality?
I think for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so. My avatar's changed my life, definitely.
Interesting.
But I'm just just one little person.
As more emotes come out, and we might start seeing like more sassier emotes, they might even like match like the real person's
Oh yeah,
not personality, but like current feelings of the day.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I could see like a talk to the hand one, like just there's that.
Well, I have yet to sell my first emote, so
Oh,
I need to actually make some sales before I can do all these other ones.
you'll do really well, Scott.
I hope so.
Are you?
Yeah, actually, Scott is gonna do very well.
Yeah.
like all the movements that you're managing to like accomplish minus the motion cap, suit is freaking crazy. I believe like your emotes are pretty on par with those.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you could do with a motion cap. Like I'm like trying to think of the steps. Probably like capture motion with the mocap suit, and then you take it to Blender and like adjust it,
Yeah,
makes. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
yeah, I can only imagine what you do with that.
There's I haven't actually done it, but back when I was working in production, you would get you would get motion capture data, and that was translated, well, depending on your rig setup and depending on the mocap suit, whether it was optical or, magnetic field, or some of them were actual haptic feedbacks. So they'd have little potentiometers, and you'd have rods strapped to your body on a like a exoskeleton, like Beyond Tomorrow. So those are basically the three types of motion capture that they used to have, 20 something years ago. Um, but yeah, depending on the file that you get, mostly it would be direct rotational information for each of the joints. And then what you could do is, um, just like in Photoshop, you'd place a layer on top of it, and you like in geometry, you decimate the geometry, or you could go through and you could retopologize it. So you could take a similar approach to motion. You could take all of the just the huge amounts of data, and then just get rid of every third keyframe or whatever, filter that out. Um, or you could like um, place a layer on top of it, and then like run it through again, and um, get a cleaner amount of function curves from that. Or uh, you could yeah, anyway, there's just a number of ways. Then you can like animate on top of that, and you can do, um, like when I got out uh, of working in 3D on the regular basis, Softimage was coming up with this thing where, kind of like what you have down here, um, where you've got your action editor, and you can push this down into specific actions. Um, and then those are like your, like a non-linear edit. If you want them to walk, you put that walk action there, and then if you want them to do, like a cycle, like just an idle cycle, you'd put that there. And then you could like animate on top of that, and then you could do a blending in between your animation and the existing bed of animation. So, um, I think that might be sort of the production flow. One thing that I have been interested in is, there's quite a few now that I've been working on emotes, when I'm in Twitter or YouTube or whatever else. I get a lot of ads for motion capture and animation solutions, um, just because they're always listening. And yeah, I'd like to try some of these solutions where you could do reference footage of just I could do reference footage of myself, front and side, and you use their rig, and then it maps based on gesture. There's like face recognition. There's also gesture recognition, based on the certain visual data, and then it extrapolates from that and gets you, motion information.
Did you
Um,
see Peanut Butter's
I
stuff
did, I
yesterday?
did.
Because I'm like, dang, that's basically, it's emote creation stuff.
Yeah, so that's like a VTuber setup, kind of like what Doki has, and Morph
Yeah.
has that, and I actually that's that's one of the things that I'd like to get done before Metaverse Fashion Week, because I want to record just a couple of videos for the CBD screen, which has been finished for months now, but there's no content for it. So rather than record myself, I'd like to record, uh, my virtual self, and
Yeah.
welcome people to Decentraland, go through just a basic, rundown of the hotkeys, maybe mention certain things that people could do, because it's going to be in Angzar Plaza. It's going to be, um, yeah, so it could be in Wondermine, it could be, in a couple of places, so whatever. There needs to be content for that, and that's a pretty quick, fast and easy way. If I'm just a talking head and I'm not walking around or doing, the driving dance, I don't have to do keyframes. It can just be me and my Quest 2 headset with my hand paddles and get that motion
Yeah,
from that.
that's cool.
So
God, I think. What am I doing? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I don't know. What are you doing?
No, see, um, having trouble with the Boolean modifiers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna share my screen. I can't figure this out. Normally it works, so I'm just trying to cut. Hey, Madamus. I'm trying to cut a hole
Mm-hmm.
in this square
Mm-hmm.
using this piece. So
Mm-hmm.
normally I'd have that highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to, I don't know why this is all coming up automatic. I'd go to a Boolean modifier,
Mm-hmm.
click, boom. As soon as I do that, it disappears.
I don't think you have enough geometry. This is one thing. Like, okay, so yeah, you've got crossover geometry. Yeah, if you look at your object, it's
Yeah,
in the shape of the heart.
yeah.
So I would say clean that up first.
Because it's joined. It should
Yeah,
be
no,
together.
I know. It's just you're asking the computer to calculate based on positions of vertices and normals, and you've got
Uh-huh.
some normals that are crossing over. So I would say go into edit mode. So tab into edit mode. Yep. And then go into the interior of that and get rid of those. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's done that a couple times. Let's see, can I just get rid of those?
Yeah, that's fine. Get rid of the ones on
Okay.
the bottom and make sure you merge the vertices at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, at that point right there?
Yeah.
It is that one vertice or two? That
Um,
right there. Right there.
I don't know.
Okay. Well then highlight it and then hit G and move it around, and if the whole thing moves, great. If yeah, yep.
Okay.
So undo and then select both of those or whatever and then merge. Actually do the merge at the end. Go to the other side and get rid
Yeah.
of those, get rid of that other. Yeah, there you go.
You know,
Because all you want is the hole, right? You want the hole in the shape of the heart.
yeah.
You don't
Yeah. I
want
think I
that.
must have like grabbed these and distorted it a little bit because I didn't intend for it to look like that.
Oh yeah, no, don't delete that.
I was trying not to sneeze. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Here,
Let's.
hit your period button. That will frame it right on that vertice.
Yeah.
No, no, you don't want this. You just want to hit on your number pad. Do you have a number pad?
No.
Oh, okay. Then you could go to view and frame selection.
Ah. Or could I just chop it all off with like this?
Yeah, I try not to do multiple booleans. I mean, go
It won't
crazy.
even work. It won't even
Yeah.
work.
Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. Start over. Go to a top view. Yep, that's number 7 or whatever. Over. Um,
Oh, I never even. I just always do that.
yeah, you wanna have an orthographic view. You don't want to have perspective. So when you do this thing, you're gonna what you want to do is you want to get a circle. So Shift A, mesh, circle,
Just a circle.
just a circle. Yep. And then, okay, so vertices, yeah, 32 is fine. That's fine. And the shape is fine. So then zoom in to your circle, highlight that thing and just hide it. Just so, yeah, click on that and then hit H to hide it. And then your, whatever that plane is, get rid of that, hide it for right now. Okay, now, yep, select that, go into edit mode. Nope, you need to select the circle first. So you're editing the circle. Nope, that's your cursor. Select the actual circle. There you go. Then go to edit mode. Now frame that up. Okay.
So
So yeah, just you want to do proportional. Yeah, hold on, stop. Go up to the top. You see where the magnet is? Next to that, there's a little dot inside a circle. That's your proportional editor. Select that. Nope, not next to.
this
Yep, there you go. Yep, proportional
side.
editing. Yeah, and then yeah, choose sharp. There you go. Okay, now drag that down. There you go.
Okay, cool.
And then take that and then, yep, sweet.
It's a heart already.
Yep. So if you're gonna, yeah, if you're gonna adjust those, I would suggest selecting both on each side and then dragging them down together so you get it symmetrical. There you go. And you might want to change the profile from sharp to sphere, or yeah, there you go.
Awesome. That looks better already. It's not how I made it.
Okay, yeah. So now, now you would just select the whole thing and extrude it. Yeah, for this, what you're gonna do here is scale it. Do a scale. There you go. Perfect.
Hearts are hard. They're,
hmm
you know.
You could also, you could like delete one side since you're in edit mode and then put a mirror modifier, so you only really have to worry about one half of it.
Uh-huh.
But whatever. I mean,
Yeah, this is, I mean, at least I can mess with it a little bit
yeah.
more. This
Okay.
is,
So once you get the profile that you want, then extrude this to the length that you need to create your Boolean. And
okay.
then when you're going to create a Boolean on your cube, you want to have a similar amount of geometry. You want the amount of subdivisions to match from the Boolean parent to the Boolean child. So if you're going to Boolean the heart out of the cube, oh here, do this. No, undo.
How do I,
Okay, yep. So hit the E for extrude.
okay.
And then you need to click the Z key to isolate
Okay.
it to be extruded just in the Z
Got it.
axis. There you
Okay.
go.
Perfect. Thank you. I know I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get this
No, you
right.
got it. You got it. Okay, and then yeah, you can just translate that more. If you go over to the extrude region and move in the lower left-hand corner, you can increase that to like 10, the value where it says Z 2.589. Yeah, there you go. You could drag it or you could just type in 10.
Okay.
And then if that's not long enough, then make it 20 or whatever. Okay,
Okay.
so the cube that you're going to Boolean it out of, at least the sides where the heart is going to be Boolean from. Oh, you're in edit mode.
Yeah.
You're gonna want, so you've got like 32 vertices across it.
Mhm.
So you'll probably want to select like the sides, the end caps on the cube. Yep, so select the cube and then go into edit mode. Okay, and then just select the front face and then the back face. Yep, up left-hand corner, you're in vertice selection mode. So go to face selection mode. Yep. To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Yep, there's the vertice, there's
Oh,
the edge, and yeah, there you go. Yep. So then select that one, select the other one at the backside. Okay. Now, okay. Now what you want to do is you want to do a subdivision modifier. So go back to your wrench on the right hand side. Yep. And click add modifier, and you want to do subdivision. Yep, subdivision surface.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Oh, no. Sorry.
That's you.
Sorry.
What was there? There was a gem inside there the whole time.
Yeah, so it's subdivided the whole thing. You want to apply it. Yeah, so undo.
It's not undoing. The
Okay.
hell?
Okay. You could have just deleted the modifier too. Sorry about that. It's been a while. I'm not a strong modeler, so it takes me a while to struggle through. So go back into edit mode. Okay. And then select your faces. Yep. Okay. Now, under add modifier, let's look at this here for a second. Go up to, yep, click that. Hold on. I just need to, close
It's
the,
been weird for
just
me. Like,
X that out. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Let's see.
It's been bringing up a weird, like it I don't know, it's been not behaving for me.
So there's a thing where you can like fill with grid. I think we're gonna try that. So let's get out of the modifier stack and just go back into the edit mode and hit delete and delete these two faces. Okay, now go into vertice selection mode. Left. It's over. Yeah, there you go. And then select just one edge. Yeah, those four vertices. There you go. Okay, now I think what we want is face. So click the face menu up at the top where it says view, select. Oh, shit. I'm back.
We lost you.
Yeah. Here, let me get Discord open again. There we go. Yeah, every now and then I fall apart. Turn around. Every now and then a little bit close. Let's go here. OBS. Okay, turn on camera. And then I'll do this. I kept streaming though. I didn't lose the stream, which is good. Okay. So what I'd like you to do, Kanessa, is go to, I think it's face. Yep. And then fill, grid fill. There you go. Oh my God. And hold on, let's go back and look at that because you've got under span and offset, you've got 1. So you're going to want like maybe 8 for span. Does that work? Okay, maybe try, shit. Oh, you don't have enough geometry. Fuck, okay.
Couldn't I just do a box? Like if I just did it with a regular, I guess that's how I would do it with my limited like knowledge and resources. It's just
Yes, yeah. So here's the thing. if you've got here, I'm gonna go back to mine. So just look at my screen here for a second. I'm gonna save this, and then I'm just gonna do a new scene. Okay. Okay. Let's go up here. Uh, let's get my circle. Okay. Go into edit mode. I'm just going to make a very quick heart. Okay. Extrude in Z. Let's see, you made yours 10, right? Let's make it 10. Okay. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, there's my heart. And there's my box. Let's make my box a little bigger. Okay, move that out of the way. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reset all transforms. Anytime I do like modifications to my object, I like to make sure that it's reset. So I apply all transforms. Okay, then I'm going to put this box back in the center. Maybe I am. Okay, I'm actually going to move it up in Z by like 2. Maybe I am. Okay, there we go. Okay. No, what the hell? I went the wrong way. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go into wireframe mode. And what I'm talking about is if I put this heart shape hole in this box, there's all of these other vertices, right?
Mhm.
That the vertices of the cube need to be able to deal with. So you end up with multiple-sided n-gons between, this edge here and all of these edges here. So you need to give it some more. You need to give it more geometry to anchor itself to. I'll show you what I mean. Let me select the whole thing here. Go in here, add modifier. I want to do subdivision surface, but I want to not have it be smooth. Advanced.
Why does it show like what basically looks like a gem or like a dodecahedron inside there?
Because that's the cube that is now subdivided, and it subdivides it and retains the object center. So it's because it's a modifier, it's showing you the like the parent object and the resulting child after you put the modifier on it.
Mhm.
It's whatever. It's just a preference that that I think some modelers have, because if I want to edit a complex object, I can start with a simple mesh version of it and then add complexity. But if I want to like do shape animations for it, I can do the shape animation to the simple simpler object, and
Interesting.
then I can then save out target shapes on the more complex level, right? That more level of detail. So it's showing me both of those, I think, just because that's the way they like
Mhm.
to display it, and I think that's the reason why, because some people like it that way. Um, okay, so well, let's see, use surface limits, keep boundaries, keep corners. Boom, there we go. That's what I want. And keep corners. Why did it not keep my corners? Use creases. Hmm. Okay. Well, uh, this is not what I want. That's not what I want. That was a detail. That's not what I want. Oh, did it fix itself? Let's get rid of it. Okay, let's try this. Um, there we go. Okay. This is kind of what I wanted right here. And I'll do the same to the bottom.
God, this is harder than I thought to get like the heart that I want. Like I'm trying to match this to like a heart on a dress that I have,
Mm-hmm.
the XR couture dress.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know that one. Okay. Okay, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. And there's a way to like go from 4 vertices to and from like 2 vertices to 1. But this is kind of what you want, right? You want to define where the density of the geometry is going to be rather than have the computer figure that out for you. That way you can control it.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so let's go back into object mode. Let me go back into shaded mode. Okay, so let's go back in here and Boolean. Okay. And what we want is a difference, right? Because you want to subtract out the heart from the
Yeah.
okay, so Boolean, let's try. So I select, help me out here with the order. I select the cube first and then I
Yep.
use the picker to select the heart.
Yeah. But I think right now you're gonna just get like a cookie cutter stencil of the heart because it's a hollow heart, just like mine. And so you need to fill that heart with some content. Does that make sense?
I think so.
See, like right now you're uh there's nothing inside that heart.
So you're saying I need end cap faces on this?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I would assume that that would just cut a stencil, like it'll just cut.
It looks to me like it worked.
Okay.
Because if
Well,
I
I don't know shit, so I'm just
no
like
no 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 no
I'm
no
guessing
no, you
here
certainly
that
do.
that would be
Don't
like
be
when
like
I've done
that.
it before.
What's that?
When I've done it before, I guess I it looks like something that would just cut out the stencil, but I realize what I'm seeing is different than the information that the shape has.
Okay. Well, we're about to find out, right? Because we're fucking around, we're gonna find out. So what I did was, while you were talking, I went in and I applied the modifier because that cube gem state sort of thing that happened.
Mhm.
that was happening with the Boolean. So I had to apply the modifier. So let's get rid of these faces. Let me go into face selection mode. Because if you don't do this, if you don't add this geometry, Canessa,
Hmm.
it creates, it goes from the vertices that it has, it goes from the geometries that it has, and it draws to all these other vertices on the heart. But when you add, oh, that's not what I wanted. When you add the geometry in like this, you don't get those weird artifacts, those long triangle, long skinny triangles.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. And there's other things that I need to do. I need to go in here and add some edges and stuff, and like these little tiny faces right here. These need to go away. But whatever. For right now, I'm just not gonna fuck around with it too much. Okay, so let's go back into shaded mode. That's what you're looking for, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're looking for a
Yep.
cube with a heart-shaped hole in it.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
The nice thing about having the modifiers on there is you can make this hole. You can move the heart that you use to cut the hole out of the way.
Hmm.
Um, and then you could like still place the image of your dress in front of the heart that you use to create the hole. With the modifier stack still there, it will still create the calculations and update the shape of the hole, the heart-shaped hole in your box while you do it.
Okay.
Um, so this is a, I don't know. What are you gonna do with the box, I guess, is my
I'm gonna
next question.
excuse me. Sorry, COVID lungs. I'm gonna animate it, so it's gonna be basically like I did it 2 weeks ago with a tunnel that was animated,
Mm-hmm.
so you could stand in it and it's moving and you're getting a cool effect. So
Mm.
I would make the same thing where there's I don't know how to describe it, but the hearts. I would make a bunch of like emissive hearts and then animate them so that they're like either moving towards you or away from you, just
Mm-hmm.
to get a special effect. Then and then stand there and model my dress.
Nice. I like that. Nice vision. Okay, so here's one thing that you're gonna want to do. You're gonna want to make this smooth, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Shade smooth. Um, and then there's like a thing here in the materials. Um, uh, there's a couple of things that you can do. You're gonna want to mark a seam here along the edge. So like if we hit Alt, it's not gonna calculate that. Okay. Um, so you want to define this as an edge just by selecting the all the edges. And there's a whole bunch of extra geometry in here because of the Boolean. And then mark sharp is what you want to do. And what that gets you is it tells the computer how to calculate the gradient across the surface instead of trying to make it smooth between this flat surface and the rounded,
Hmm.
smooth inner heart. You want it to be a very hard edge. So Yeah, so you select the edges, you right click, and then you choose mark sharp, and then it will be marked sharp. Because the way it's going to look, when you start adding lights and emissive materials and stuff, the way it will play across the surface, you're going to want this to appear flat. If you've got those weird long triangle artifacts, it's gonna do that sizzle. With
Hmm.
something like this, it's going to limit that sizzle down to areas like right here, where there's this extra triangle. Just go into face selection mode, get rid of that. Right. Um, right. You'll have the artifacts wherever there's multiple sided polygons, but if you can decrease the surface area of where those sizzling polygons are going to be, then it'll just look better.
Well, I
So,
will mess around with it.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
taking the time to do that. That makes sense why it wasn't working for me.
yeah, you're welcome. Um, so yeah, why don't you go ahead and I'll be here while you
Okay.
do it.
I gotta get my reference. I gotta look at the actual heart because I fucked it up already, and so I want to make sure I'm matching it as close as I can to the real
Sure.
thing. You guys can hear my backpack.
Yes, that's a pretty big backpack you got there, lady.
Still going. Can't hide it. No, that's not the one. I hate it when you click on it and then you're like, there's a lag. Okay, there we go. Oh, my hair hides it. It's time to clean up my backpack again and send stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, see that's not.
Got to Marie Kondo that shit.
Yeah, I befriended. Okay, so I befriended the coffee people that operate Viola, the
Mm-hmm.
AI.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but then so she always shows up at my land, and I try to talk to her, and she runs away. There
Yep.
was another one. They've got two different AIs. So the last time I saw them, I chased them down and got their wallet address and sent them a bunch of wearables just to be funny. So that they'd be like, what the hell? Like, this is AI. How did they just end up with a bunch of wearables in their wallet? Well, they sent a bunch of wearables back to me. So I think that they. Anyway,
Okay,
I like.
you gotta send me their wallet address.
Let's see.
Because honestly, they're streaming on Twitch right now.
Really?
Yes. So here's the thing. It's like there might be people that she could create a following, or it could create a following. And
Yeah.
if Viola is doing my Running Man emote, or some of the other emotes that I've
Yeah.
got, or wearing your uh some of the wearables that you gave them, or whatever.
Mhm.
It's I don't know. It's no press is bad press, right?
Yeah. Let's see. That's so I sent you a Addy.
Mm-hmm.
That is for carbon coffee.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't know if that's Viola's because I can't see
So
my history doesn't go far enough back to grab her
the
address.
name Viola is it's registered.
Oh, okay.
And Carbon Coffee is also registered, but it's like what did I do? Oh, I I got the information. The information was in the VP equity thread or channel in the DCL DAO, and we're trying to prove humanity, and here's like an avatar that's going around giving a pretty good fake of humanity.
Yeah.
So I wanted to check it out, and I tracked it down and found it and started just investigating, like, okay, who's running this, and yeah, Carbon Coffee, and they've got a couple of the the cup wearables, and I bought one of those, and the
Yeah.
NFT TEA cup, but oh, excuse me, I forgot where I was going with this. I totally got lost in my bird walk.
I
Eh,
don't think it was Viola that I sent it to. There's another AI that does the same thing, but I feel like it's a guy's name. Because I don't see any of the
mhm.
stuff that I sent. I didn't say junk. I didn't send them junk.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean,
what's the AI gonna know?
yeah. I don't know. Like I just chased it down and grabbed it. I don't even know why I did it. Just to be funny. Just AI has to have a sense of humor.
Mhm.
Okay,
It's
thank
all
you,
good.
Scott. I totally distracted the FAFO from emote creation.
Oh, that's all right. It's all good.
Are you gonna release some for Fashion Week?
My plan is to release 3 emotes in a collection that I'm calling Club Dance.
Oh, cool.
And I also have another project, but I'm running out of funds. I mean, I just got paid from my work with Lighthouse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, super psyched about that. So that will cover my third emote, but I want to do well, you saw it. I mean, I registered the name Clitter. I've got the wearable that I want to create for that. I'd like to actually have a fashion wearable to release, and there's another. I want to do a mythic emote, um, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but my thought is that
Does it
I
have to do with clitter?
no. I mean, it could, it totally could, but it's no, it's a thing that I've wanted to do for a while, and I know that it will catch on fire. But what I'm thinking of doing is creating the emote and then having like a little campaign for it and asking for pre-orders
Nice.
and have that fund the publication.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good idea.
so
I know it's hard. Like I don't think I made my money back on any of them. I'm getting close,
hmm
on some, but that's okay. It is what it is.
yeah. I'm in it for the long haul, Cadessa. The first wearable that I produced were my glasses, and that was over a year ago. Um, and I just wanted people to have them, and I realized,
Yeah.
oh, I could make it for free, and I still want to do that, right? I still want to have an emote that, or sorry, a wearable that I would publish and have it be for free.
Yeah.
Um, but my thought was instead of selling one thing for 100 mana, I'd sell a hundred things for 1 mana. Um,
Yeah.
and just having a belief in the ecosystem. So I did the maximum amount, right? 100,000 for the glasses, um, knowing that at some point the value will increase. But I wanted it to be affordable, kind of like the whole Beanie Baby thought, to have a wearable that people can afford. Um, and I have every 6 months I've increased the price, so now they're up to like 3 mana. But um,
Cool.
yeah, I think that there will be a lot of people that come in here and want to outfit themselves, and I still think it's a quality product. Like the work that you're doing is quality work, and um, people will recognize that.
Yeah, it's interesting just to see. Like Rustan wanted me to put out mythics, like maybe not the digital assets specifically, but he was thinking that a mythic would be better because then I can immediately make, make the income back. But I'm looking for like long-term passive income streams that like you
Yeah.
build it now and then you have, maybe this opportunity for years to come where you're slowly getting something back.
Yeah, and
Because like, yeah,
I did a mythic. I did the galaxy boots. You got a pair of those.
yeah. Yeah. I like those. They match. There's something I have that's purple that they match really well.
Okay, so the wallet that registered Viola doesn't actually have Viola in it. They've got the Avenger, Joey Hunt, Pondweed, and Taiwan or Taiwan. Taiwan? Taiwan. Taiwan. Yeah.
I like Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Hey, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hi. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. It's funny, somehow every time there's like a Tuesday FAFO, I feel like I'm like on my way to like get some more weed. I think it's like clockwork.
You need to start restocking your weed on like Thursdays then, so that
I need to start restocking on Sundays because they have a deal on Sundays that I keep missing.
Oh no. Isn't that funny? The whole landscape of weed, how it's changed. Like now they got a sale. Like,
It's insane. It's like there's $20, like they have $20 eighths for like pretty decent weed for California. You know what I mean? And on Sundays you can get your second eighth for $5 off. So you can get a quarter for $35. I'm like, that's not bad. I need that.
Okay. I've got Viola's address. Oh, you already gave it to me. Okay, duh.
I did. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I gave you Carbon Coffee and then
Yeah.
Viola.
Okay.
We should get Carbon Coffee in here.
Definitely.
I wonder if they're in CBD.
No, I'm all about making friends, right?
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is pretty interesting, and I'd like to hear more about it. I don't want to drive them off. Okay.
No, but I just want to be their friend, and so when they come to my land and like look at me and then run away, it's like, why? What? Why are you running? And so I used to chase her, and I don't know. It was like really, it was an odd interaction. Like, well, I guess it would have been fine if it just happened once. But then I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is the third time I've seen Viola come to my land. Like, I guess maybe then I get paranoid. Like, what the fuck? Viola's stalking me. Like, maybe human nature it's human nature to be like, they're coming to my land to mess with me. And it's not like that at all. She's just AI. But I'm like, why do you keep coming here? So I felt much better when I realized she just goes to POI stars. Like it's the POI that I don't know. I guess maybe I have some like paranoid tendencies, and like I grab the shotgun. I'm like, what are you doing? Get off of my land.
There's AI avatars running around in Decentraland?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there has been.
They come to your land and they like interact real quick and then run away from you. And I've chased them down.
How did that happen? Who like orchestrated putting AI avatars on there?
Carbon Coffee is the person who is making it.
That's the one that we know of. I'm sure that there are other people that are doing it. I mean, I've been to parties at Restans that there's definitely AIs that are, doing the parkour trying to get the popes.
What? That's so crazy.
So
yeah.
Weird.
Totally.
What
it's pretty freaky.
But you know what? Like we're at such a crazy advantage for compared to the rest of the world that you know, we're having our first. Well, I'm having my first interaction with like AI. You know, and they're coming to my digital land, and like I chase them off. Just imagine when normies like we're like 5 to 10 years ahead of, well, maybe not even that much, but
Yeah,
of like
what if
regular
an actual AI bot comes to your actual house?
I just
people.
picture
Yeah.
Canessa coming off her digital porch with a broom trying to shoo them away.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have a shotgun. A broom is not enough firepower. I'm gonna get off of my land.
Get
Go
off
on,
my
get.
lawn!
Get
Did
y'all
you
get
say
out
go
of
on
here.
get? Oh my god,
Go
that's
on,
Yeah.
get.
totally you, Mac.
Oh my god, yeah. My dad is from Missouri, so I got a little. Well, I would say I got a little south in me, but
Little
his
Ozarks.
entire family is like, this is Missouri is not in the south. I'm like, compared to Wisconsin.
You know, I used to live in Kansas City. I went to school at Mizzou, and it is totally the South. I got news for you, folks. It is
Although
the
then
South.
once we drove to Mississippi, and that felt real south.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my god, nothing like the middle of Tennessee.
So, what are you making?
Who you asking?
Which one?
Oh, who am I watching? This is Canessa.
I am making an accessory to a dress.
Oh,
I'm making a like heart-shaped tunnel, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. I thought it was just gonna be one of those like 10-minute things, and here I am like an hour later.
I have a question. Do you guys know how, like, the emotes that animate wearables, like the refraction wings, that I
Mhm.
can't seem to take off because that little detail is just so fascinating to me?
Mhm.
Do you know how that's done?
Yeah. So
Really?
I've actually thought about doing this. Like you can weight any object to any bone anywhere, you know, on the character. So the way that refraction talked about it, and the way that I remember him describing it is here. If you check out my stream. So remember last FAFO I was talking about with the Running Man that I would rotate the here.
I don't think you're sharing your screen.
I'm not. Well, goddamn. Hold on.
Go on, get.
Go on, get.
So it's like a weird, like, mechanical pulley type thing, like that's like kind of abstract in comparison to the rest of the weighting.
It's maybe. Oh, you're right. I am not. No, I am.
That's so weird. I don't see.
I see you, Scott.
Yeah, I'm sharing my camera. I'm not doing a screen share.
Let me
So just click on my avatar.
Usually it just. I'm gonna back out of the conversation and come back.
Okay. Well, I can also just share my screen.
Yeah, I don't know. It says, like, it shows a little camera icon with the red line going through.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me change it to this. I did crash and I tried to build it back up. I might be crashing right now. Yep. Nope. Yep, I just crashed. Shit. Les sigh.
Nice, dude.
I crashed again. Okay.
What was your brother's in-game name again, Josh?
If and when.
And you get this cool female avatar. to use for the rest of the game if you unlock it.
Nice. I'll let him know. He's been so busy drowning in work, dude. Kind of annoying, but it's his life right now.
Okay, Josh, do you
Yes,
see
sir.
me? Do you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
Okay, let me try. Let me try to share my screen again. Last time I tried it, totally crashed me out, but let's try it again. Okay. All right. Do you see it?
It's loading.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I do.
Oh, okay. So remember last time, FAFO on Friday when I was keyframing the trunk rotation,
Yes.
and I would do the
The
spine
local.
bones. Yeah. And I do it in local. So let me come up here and switch from global to local. I've got the top spine controller selected. So if I hit R and Y, that'll rotate, the top part of my character's trunk.
Right.
But what I can also do, that's what I did to move the shoulders for Running Man. But if I was going to do something like, um, shrugging the shoulders and having them move independently of one another, then I'd want to select these right here. So if I take this and go into R, Z, I can move them independently. Um,
That left jab
yeah.
coming through.
So by weighting the wings to the shoulders, you can see over here in the F curve editor, avatar shoulder L. So that's the left shoulder. Um, I can um, I can control more than just the arm, right? Think of it this way: you've got some wearables that are humanoid-esque, but I don't know. There's one. It's like it's a hoodie, but there's no head in there. It's just like empty space inside the hood, which I think is pretty cool. There's another one where the jacket is open and there's no torso in there. So you could have wearables that are um, auras or external or whatever, and have them be controlled by things like the fingers on your
Ah,
character. So if you took like the thumb and you went into rotation like Z or something like that, and you just here, let me roll it back and forth. So you just kind of did this, right? Or maybe Y is better, right? So just kind of doing something like this,
mm-hmm.
where it goes back and forth, and you may or may not see that, or you could take the end one.
Okay. That makes sense with the refraction wings because on top of that extra movement, it's shrunk down so you wouldn't notice that
Mhm,
extra little movement.
mhm, right. So when there was the AMA last week with the Explorer group at the foundation, they're working on the the passport, they're working on the backpack, and they were talking about all these great things. One of the times, maybe this wasn't last week, but the week before, but they talked about no, this was last week, having non-humanoid avatars. So
Oh,
like
that's right. I remember you mentioned.
creating a new version of avatars in Decentraland so that you can have whatever skeletal configuration that you want and be able to release wearables for them and so on and so forth. Um, so if you remember the CBD screen that you made, and then Grammy came in and animated those little rings,
Yeah.
um, he did that with bones, right? They sort of like
Yes.
cycle through. So that's like a way to control um, shape deforms of your meshes. So uh, if DCL were to introduce some additional bones to the default avatar rig, then you could animate those, and they could be just applied uh, to external objects, right? So if you wanted to um, do the thing where Harry Potter holds out his hand and the broom kind of comes up into his hand. If you wanted to animate that, you wanted to have a wearable that was on the ground and that would come up to his hand. The broom would have to have its own separate bone.
Boom.
Yep. So if there was something like that on the avatar, you had like maybe say 4 additional bones that were just kind of hanging out, and you could assign whatever you wanted to them, and you could translate, rotate, and scale them. All of that data is retained in the GLB file. Then you could have that sort of animation.
Yeah,
But
that
as it
makes sense.
is right now, you could take any one of these bones and weight anything to it 100% or, whatever percentage between 0 and 100%. Um, and then have it do your bidding, right?
Yes.
Like say I released a top, and my top had uh, hands that were like Simpson hands, where they only had 4 fingers on each hand. They didn't have any pinkies, right? So I could
Right.
take then those 3 pinky bones and
And use
this,
them for something else.
yes, yes. So I maybe wouldn't want to
Ah,
detach them and move them around and break the skeleton.
right.
Um, but that would be a slot or a way for me to fake something in there. So if I wanted to have like a spider that I was holding in my hand, if I only had 4 fingers, or I could maybe even have 5 fingers, but take the bones from the pinky, and use them for the spider, and then take the actual pinky mesh and weight it to the ring finger, so that it would still, it would still react like a hand, but then
Yeah.
I would take that pinky here. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's take the pinky. My mouse totally sucks. Okay.
But yeah, last week when I was playing around with animating, totally I hit up Grimy because I was so confused. Canessa, I'm sure you remember. But I was trying to animate like I was trying to basically duplicate what he did with the rings, like recreate that. And I
Hmm.
was trying to animate 3 separate objects, the rings as 3 separate objects, but when I set the keyframe, it would confine it globally, the location
Mm-hmm.
scale. So you have to do it as one object with bones in order to like do anything. If you want to duplicate the animation and move it like to another part of the scene, anything like that, you have to
Mm-hmm.
do it. It has to be animated to the bones to do any of that.
Yep. Okay, so here's the pinky, and let's just say that this is my spider, and I'm just having it crawl around. So if I release the spider pet spider wearable and emote, um, then the wearable would have the spider on it, but it wouldn't move. The spider wouldn't move independently unless I had the emote paired to it, because the wearable would just um, modify the um, the mesh of the character, right? It would
Right.
take, because you don't just release the top, you have to release the arms and the hands, right?
Yeah.
So then you'd have control over that, and you could take all of the vertices from the pinky on the mesh and weight them to the ring finger, um, and then the um, the pinky bones would still move like it would normally move for any other emote. Um, but then if you wanted the pet spider emote to have the pet spider do things, then the pinky would be up here like this, right? I mean, it looks really weird and painful if you're looking at my screen. But then
Yeah.
you've got these 3 bones that you could then, you know,
Utilize.
rotate. Yeah, so like this one could be the spider's body, and this one could be the spider's head, and this one could be the spider's arms or legs or whatever. And then that's how you would do that. So that's how, yeah, it's a workaround. It's a kludge, but I'd
I
like to
dig it.
see it. I'd like to see
That
something
makes,
like that. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Like, thank you for breaking that down for me.
Yeah, sure.
And, like, I was thinking about it last night, and I was like starting to like kind of wrap my head around it, but without, I don't know. It was just the concept is very. It just seems so simple and so outside the box that it's interesting. I like it. Cool to see in Decentraland people do stuff like that. It's kind of like using like the two alpha planes or two like different textures like overlapping to get that like kind of glitch effect. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing that type of like outside the box thinking.
Yeah, me too.
Totally.
I like how the avatar is just hanging out dancing with these girls in the street.
I know. I like that too. It's like AI. They're in the suburbs.
Totally.
Definitely.
Well, that's definitely too slow.
Yeah, Madamus. He works for this company out of Santa Barbara, and their management is complete dog shit. So they fired everybody, and he's their only developer right now.
Oh
So
yeah,
they
yeah, I
got
remember you telling me that.
yeah, they
He's the
got him
only
running
one that
rag.
didn't get.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm like kind of wondering if the company's gonna fold or he's gonna quit. I don't really know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we just laid off like 15 people at my company, thankfully. Them, but my boss, our director, got laid off. A couple other people. Pretty crazy times.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I gotta actually jump on a meeting, so I don't end up in that situation too. I'll be back in a little bit.
See you, Manimus.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up. They've been working him like kind of. It's been like 3 or 4 months, like basically like overtime by himself. And he got his review. It's not funny, but he got his review and they gave him employee of the month instead of giving him a raise. And
Oh,
he's
Jesus.
literally their only employee.
No way.
I was like, dude, well,
Some shit right there.
where is your boss parked? Let's go cut his tires.
They should have given him a $10 Starbucks card and a pin too, and a parking spot maybe. Then it would all feel better.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, a
it's
nice
funny.
plaque or a trophy.
Yeah, there's no parking spots though, unfortunately, because it's all remote work. Like
Oh no. God,
that was the irony of slashing his boss's tires. We wouldn't be able to do it.
like one of these days I'm gonna stop working remote. I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna slash your internet cable.
Cut your internet.
Yeah, well I don't know. Like,
You're gonna be sad for an evening.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know he wants to get more into like learning some like Web3 development type stuff. So if Who knows? Maybe if the door does close where he's at now, it'll open doors for some new opportunities.
Tell him he can develop for Mew anytime.
Awesome.
Hey, Josh.
How are you doing, Sinful?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Guess what, guys? One more follower on Twitch, and I have officially hit 3,000 followers.
Hey, congratulations.
Cool.
Thank you, thank you. The anticipation, it's crazy. I better jump into some like DJ's Twitch stream and introduce myself.
I'm at 6969 on Twitter.
True stage? Oh, oh. I'm like, True stage?
No, no,
What are
no,
you doing
no,
over there, Vanessa? You should be modeling.
no. My followers, and then they keep. It's funny. I think it's I don't know if it's like shadow banning or something, but like it gets stuck at certain amounts, and then I'll lose like 20 followers at once, and then get no followers, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, like starts going again. I mean, it's all messed up. Like it's not organic, and so I don't know. It's just funny to see how it kind of behaves.
Yeah, I have been seeing that even with like mine. Like at 3,000 like for Twitter, 3,100 followers, it like I don't know, it like hit a wall there and then it like bounced down to like 3,070 and I was like, "What happened there?" And then I just left it alone and a couple days later like no, I think I'm back to like 3,103 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely has like a weird behavior. Like, okay, this is not the I don't know. Like this is Twitter being like, no, you're not gonna have any more. You're gonna just pause, or bots or something.
It's Twitter questioning how legit we are.
Yeah, yeah. Like, trust me, we're not. We're here to take you out.
Elon, I'll buy a Tesla one day. Just help me
Uh,
get my followers count up, and that will help me get my Tesla.
yeah. I
Please
just
and thank you.
I wish I could get like the followers to I don't know. I'm like, okay, out of 6,969 followers, how many are actually like clicking on Beyond the NFT, like or like come in, jump into the true band room? Like, how can I get them to actually jump in? So then I thought about like framing it like as if you've never met, these artists before. Like, hey, this is Blease. He's an NFT artist. Have you brought your project to Decentraland yet? Like, it's a platform for musicians, visual artists, like kind of like explain it better for followers that might be like NFT projects or something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to better tell the story of Decentraland so that otherwise, like, why, there's no purpose in having that many followers if you can't get some of them to fucking come to Decentraland.
I know. Wouldn't it be wild out of 6,900 people if 6,900 people were like, "Oh shit, Decentraland, I'm gonna jump in
Yeah.
there right now."
Yeah, I mean, like, what are they doing? Why did you guys follow me? Why are you like still following me if you're not gonna?
Excuse me
When
just
I
a second, guys. Hold on a second. Hey, Sinful. I just got a notice from Restream to check my encoder settings. So maybe I'm not
I mean,
streaming right now.
no, you're good. You're good. It does that. I think it's because of the RTMP server. Like, are you referring to the keyframe interval stuff? How it's like recommending 2, and currently it's running at 8.3.
No. I don't know what.
That's all smart stuff.
Um, I just noticed that there was a yellow message, yellow box with a message in it, and then I like kind of looked at it, and then I just clicked it to get rid of it. So I didn't look at
Mhm.
it too closely. But looking at the Restream page right now, it's sort of stuck on a one image, and the little load circle is going round and round.
Okay. At least from have you tried refreshing the Restream? Because I'm looking through Restream right now, and it looks good. I see you like see your camera moving around, you're talking,
Okay.
and then I'm looking on the Twitch stream, and everything's good.
Okay. Yeah, it says, okay, here's the message. I won't click it away. It says check your encoder settings. Keyframe interval 8.333 recommended 2. So where do I need to change that? And where do I
Nah,
okay.
you're good.
Okay.
That's a warning that like pops up for me like every time I go live, but we're good.
It's like the little light on Homer's dashboard and he just takes the black electrical tape and covers it up. It's like that's how I take care of it. I just
That's-
ignore it.
I've done that before.
yeah, that's exactly it for me.
Doesn't exist.
Okay. Got it. We're all set.
Yeah, Twitch is good, and let me go check on the YouTube. It should be good too.
Yeah, Canessa, I did a giveaway when I first got on Twitter. Like when I basically the first NFT that I ever had my name on it, which is my waifu one. I did a giveaway on Twitter, and after that giveaway, I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
This is crazy. There's
AJ, you're good on YouTube.
Okay, thanks,
seven,
Simple.
700 over 700 people followed me and claimed it, and I sent them all out manually, and I was like, no.
No way,
And
Jane.
I probably
Dude, you're a champ.
most all of those people have never even been into Decentraland who claimed one of those.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It,
Wow.
it's like how like when you look at our Decentraland DAO, there's like a million wallets, like with zero VP, and I think it was AJ mentioned once that Snapshot gives them rewards just for voting on a
Yeah.
DAO.
Yeah.
No
So
way.
so it's like I feel like it's kind of like that, like they just went for it.
Yeah.
Thoughts. But I did see a proposal by Enwiz today asking if we should limit out or we should make it a requirement to have at least 100 VP or a name on Decentraland, like in
Mhm.
order to be able to like vote in the DAO. I
Yeah.
voted yes for it, but then in the comments I went on to add that I would like to see a third option, make it so it's 100 VP or a name or 100 active hours on the platform on like in
Yeah.
world in
Yeah.
Decentraland. Can you
That,
imagine if they added that? That would be a good
yeah.
reason for someone to come in and spend 100 hours with us.
Well, that would be good because I know I mean, it would gatekeep the DAO for people that can afford that. And I know it is kind of a good idea to just make it accessible to all, and so that would allow people who if they're in a country that $100 or the mint fee for the name is a lot, like it would give them an opportunity to still be in and be able to participate.
Now, if someone turned around and told me not everyone can afford 100 hours on the platform, I'll tell them to yeah, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, if
It's
you
like
can't afford 100
six,
hours on the platform, I don't know that you should be getting a DAO grant.
$60 or your time.
Yeah.
That's a good
Time
point,
is
Vanessa.
money. Yeah.
That's a really good point. If you are not capable of spending $100 in 100 hours in the platform, then what good is granting you money going to do anything?
Well, I mean, God, it'd almost be better to require that instead of the money. Like anybody can just come in and mint a name or have money, but maybe it should be like that the time is more important. I guess then your avatar, you could just plop your avatar in, and that would be yeah. There's ways that they get around it, but what the most important thing that they could do is just spend time.
Well, I've advocated for having a variety of compensations for the DAO, for VP on the DAO. That there's multiple ways to add value to the platform, to the ecosystem, and time spent in game, time spent developing, and I think you're all. I like where you're going with this, Sinful. I like the idea of having uh, that minimum requirement, you know, and having alternatives because not everybody has 100 mana, and not everybody has 100 hours to spend or whatever. But right, it's like then why are you here, right? Are you just looking for a handout? But it's like there there's it keeps coming back to, and this is the drum that I keep beating, but it's like um, you need to have some form of decentralized identification, um, and you need to have um, proof of personhood, or uh, decentralized identification, and you need some form of um, like certification, soulbound tokens, where you can, as soon as you prove that a person is a person, then you can reward them for those 100 hours, right? And instead of rewarding a wallet for Viola the AI
Mm-hmm.
cruising around Canessa's plot or her estate. Um, so it's like those two go hand in hand, right? First, you need to prove personhood, and then you need to provide. And the white paper that Vitalik wrote, it's about a year ago now, or more than a year ago. They're called attestations, or they could be attributes or whatever you want to call them, accomplishments. Um, but based on that social network, like we're all here together, and we can all attest to the fact that we're here spending this time in FAFO. So if we and this is one of the things I played around with yesterday. You can go on Snapshot and you can just create um is it called a scene, or you can make your own little account on Snapshot. It's free, and then you can create proposals, and you can create methods of validation. And there's 8 different. You can add up to 8 different ways to validate. And one of those is the Gitcoin passport. Another one is Bright ID, which is the thing that I'm encouraging people to check out. In fact, I'd love if everybody here in FAFO were to install the Bright ID app, and then I could add you as somebody that I already know. And what that does is, like, you create a social graph, and by our sheer nature of spending time together, I can attest to the fact that Canessa was here already for close to 2 hours in FAFO. And that means that you're spending time developing for the platform, right? And that's adding value to the platform. So then, if you wanted to um, add a proposal for whatever, for the things that you're building, for maybe an emote gallery you want to create, Canessa, then you would have those 100 hours. Well, you didn't spend them in world. You maybe spent 10 hours in world. You spent 90 hours on FAFO. That should totally be valid, right?
Yeah, because I think the more time that goes on, the more time I'm spending not in Decentraland, but like on Blender
Yeah.
and building.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and so I think it is, it does change. And it
And
would be cool.
it's so, like, I think about the terraforming period in Decentraland, and that was valuable to have the capital to come in, and create that initial value, that valuation of digital land, of digital assets. Well, now that that's here, how do we continue to add value? Well, we're not going to add land. I mean, other than DCL Worlds, but like they're not going to increase the map, right? Um,
That, anyway, at this point, sure, why not? Let's just add more of that.
no,
Sorry.
no, no,
I'll
no,
be
no.
quiet.
I I don't think
You know,
that the original founders and the people that are in the foundation right now, they're never going to do that. Like there's a very distinct line for DCL worlds. I don't want to get into that. Sorry to
yeah.
bring that up, but I mean that's a really obvious one, right? But there's wearables, there's emotes. You know, you've got the collectibles, the consumables, and you need to have consumables, right? Um, to level out that economy. But you also have to have experiences, and the way you have experiences, you got to have a place to have those experiences. You have to, it's in a virtual world, everything is crafted and created, so you have to have people that craft that. Well, you need the people with the skill level to craft enough unique experiences and builds and emotes and just yesterday for Decentraland tours, we went to the Dapcraft Halloween thing. I didn't have time. I was still working at teaching during that time, so I didn't have time to go to all of those activations. But it's still active, and you can still get the wearables there, and it was amazing, right? And we want to have 100 companies like Dapcraft that can create those activations that are creating those all the time. And the only way that happens is when you've got people that, like us, are learning the skill set to do that. And there needs to be incentives, and it can't always be a grant from the foundation. But what it could be is VP or man, whatever you want to call it, karma. That's what they've got on Reddit. Um, but yeah, there needs to be some sort of incentive, some sort of certification that recognizes and is rewarded to the people that spend the time that create value on the platform. And there are multiple ways to do that.
You know,
Time
what'd
in
be
world
cool
is
is
just
if
one of
it
them.
got like, yeah, like if it got you relevancy on things like the um verified registry. Like if
Hmm.
it, oh, Viola's on my land. Viola. Hi, Viola.
Viola.
Sorry.
She just
I
stops
wonder.
everything she's doing and like Viola.
I wonder if
I'm
Viola
gonna
wants one
show her
more life
my
emote.
digital assets and see if she likes any. No, no, no. She's
Scott,
just getting away.
so Scott, before I click on anything sus, brightid.org.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, can you drop a proper link? Like
Yeah,
a
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me just call it up because I've got it. When I'm not in Decentraland or I'm not building something in Blender or animating or whatever, this is what I spend time on. So here, let me go to. I would start with Gitcoin Passport, and I just crashed. Hello again.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that's like the third time today. This is telling me that I should start looking for a replacement rig. Uh, Here, just a second. Let me turn on. Okay, that's turned on. Let me turn this on so Josh can see me. There, I can do 15 frames a second. That should work. I'll do 720 resolution. Maybe that'll help. Okay. All right.
So what is this for, Scott?
Okay.
Passport?
So Gitcoin Passport is it's a way to create a decentralized identification system. Um, so I'm going to connect my wallet, and I'll show you all of the certifications or badges, I think is what they call them, or stamps that I've already set up. Um, but let me also call up Snapshot. And I started a Twitter thread about this yesterday. It was actually in response to It wasn't Punk Pink. It wasn't Existence. It was like something cubes, like 728 cubes or
729 cubes. Yeah,
729 cubes. Yeah.
they've
Okay.
been really active lately.
Okay. So let me go to Snapshot. Okay. Also, I got too many things open here. Let me sign this so you can see my passport. Okay. So Bright ID is just one of the verifications that I can have in Gitcoin Passport. Here's the thing. Gitcoin was started to award money to development projects. And correct me if I'm wrong, Anor or Madamus. Oh, Gary's here. Hello, Gary. Kisses.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like, what do you use GitHub for? Well, it's for software development, and you want to encourage people to develop software so they use your platform, right? So it becomes a more robust platform. So it's to Microsoft's benefits to go out and encourage people to develop more projects. Well, you do that by creating bounties or having hackathons. So they started Gitcoin to fund these for the public good, basically. So they'll come through, and one of the I think one of the things that was funded through Gitcoin was the Optimism Ethereum um, network, and that's just it's a version of Ethereum, and they fund things like Mirror.xyz, which is where one of the places where I publish all of my articles about Decentraland. Okay, so they're awarding these grants, and what they discovered was people were creating sock puppet or Sybil accounts and dividing up uh, their grant into multiple smaller grants so that they could get more money, more support from people. Because if they had one grant that they would apply for money and it lost, then they'd be out of luck. But if they had multiple, they would increase their chances. So they tried to prevent that, and they discovered that they needed to get rid of this anonymity. And the best way that you could do that, aside from KYC, know your customer, and having to have a government ID and all that, they're like, well, why don't we basically do a thing like what Vitalik is talking about, like a soulbound token, where you have a way to prove somebody is a person, but have it be decentralized. So Gitcoin Passport was created to help prove personhood. So when somebody submits a proposal, it's tied to that person, and then they can't just have 10 other wallets that have a similar proposal or another piece of that proposal that's submitted, right? So it makes it expensive to try to game the system because it's tied to a person's identity. And they do that through, one, you've got to have a Gitcoin account, and there's levels of verification on that. So it could just be that you've got a Gitcoin account, but there's another way, and I'll show you here in Snapshot, where it's like, okay, you have to be involved in like at least 5 projects, or you have to have at least one pull request a week, right? So it's going on your activity level, basically how you're interacting socially. Um, and if you provide enough of these layers of requirements that are social interactivity requirements, then it becomes almost impossible, nearly impossible, nothing's impossible, nearly impossible for a machine to fake that, right? Like Gary could be AI. We don't think so. He's always giving us kisses. But the gas. The attestation that I would make for Gary is that I just met him. I wouldn't give the same attestation. I wouldn't attest to the same level of familiarity with Gary as I would with Knessa because I've never heard Gary talk. And that's nothing against Gary. I love you, Gary. But it's like I know Knessa is a person, and I know her as a person. um, and I can attest to that fact. So the more people I have in my network that attest to the fact that I'm a person, it increases the likelihood that I am really a person and not a bot. And then
I
that
need this for my head, my life, like just to prove that I'm a person. Sorry, I digress. I'm just joking.
that's okay.
I was
Maybe
thinking the
you
same
maybe you
thing
should
though.
give Gary your vote. I'm not
I
worried.
was I was thinking the same thing though. Like, what if somebody's like a mute and they don't speak? Like,
So here's the thing. So on Bright ID, that's one of the verifications that they've got on Gitcoin Passport, and it's an app that's on your phone. And I'm just going to start the app. Sorry, Sinful, you asked a very simple question, and I launched this big long thing. But they have what are called achievements, which are just like the attestations. Okay, so one of the achievements for Bright ID is called a Bright Meet. And what you do is they have a Google Meet or a Zoom call, and people just hang out for 15 minutes and they talk to each other. So even if the person is mute and deaf, they could be there and they could be signing, right? There might be an
mhm.
interpreter um, that could vocalize for them, or they could type. But seeing that that person is there, acting in real time, then I would make the attestation. I would attest to the fact that, okay, I saw
Got
Gary.
you.
Gary didn't talk, but I definitely saw Gary. So
There's
the
also resources like the TDD or
yes,
DT software for people who are deaf that, you know, there are other options that I
I'm
would
gonna
imagine that they take advantage
I'm about to blow your mind, Kanessa.
of.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can you see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see this thing on my camera?
Yeah, you built that with Raspberry Pi?
No.
Arduino?
No, this is one of those old TDD systems.
Nice. That's awesome.
So every time I punch a letter, it gives a series of tones. So here's C, A, N, E, S, S, A, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a microphone part to this, and that would then read that signal, and
That's
it
cool.
would spell out. So yeah, so that's an early device that was used for that.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yeah, somebody could use that.
Awesome. Okay. So it's like, because it's like a based on averages type of thing. If it one variable might not be as strong, but
Hmm.
multiple others are. That makes sense.
Gary's taking notes. Okay, so there's the meeting. There's something called a first connection. There's link with an app. So I have it linked to a couple of apps, and one of the apps that it's linked to is Gitcoin Passport. Another app to link it to is Snapshot, which is that one, right? Yeah, maybe that's too close, but that's the snapshot there in the corner, right there. So by voting in the Decentraland DAO through Snapshot, that's another. Here, let me zoom in on these so you can see these on my screen. So yeah, here's Gitcoin. I don't own any Gitcoin, but I'll be purchasing some. I connected it to my Google account, to my Discord, to my Facebook, to Twitter. I have an ETH domain name, so an ENS. You can verify it that way. LinkedIn. I've collected Popes. I've got Bright ID. Here's my snapshot verification. Here's the fact that I actually have Ethereum in my wallet. There's another service out there called Proof of Humanity, um, that's kind of like Bright ID. Yeah, I hold NFTs and whatever. There's all these other ones. So there's all these different ones, and the more that you have, the stronger the likelihood that you're a real person exists. Um, but here's the thing, like in Bright ID, they don't you don't have to dox yourself. You don't have to connect Google and Facebook and everything like that. So if I go to let me go to Bright ID.
Because doesn't it seem like you're just packaging up all your personal information for the FBI and the IRS, and just someday they're going to be like, thank you very much. This was really nice. Now all we have to do is run our little model, and then we've got you
Well,
for everything that you did for the last 10 years.
okay.
And let's see your tax receipt.
So yeah, I get I get where you're going with this. It's brightid.org. So people think that even working on the internet is or on blockchain is anonymous. Um, but I was in Bitcoin for like maybe 1 or 2 years, and somebody came out with a paper, and they were able to take supposedly anonymous blockchain information, and just through psychographic and demographic information that they can glean from who they interacted with, like who they were exchanging money with on the blockchain, they were able to discover who the people were.
Yeah.
So just by the sheer nature of me existing in the world and putting enough of that evidence together, you can figure out who a person is. It just
Yeah.
you just can't avoid living,
It's
right?
just
And
harder.
what's that?
Okay.
It's just harder to find.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like all the info's there, but it'll take some digging.
It's got an abstraction layer. So here's the thing. Uh and there's a video, and I'll drop this in the chatty chat. You guys can check it out at your leisure. But if you do sign up, then let me know, because I'd like to add you to my network.
Yeah, I have a question. So you said it's a mobile app?
Yep.
What? Okay, so I don't really do a lot mobile with crypto at all.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do they have a like browser extension type thing or
Uh yeah, I mean, let's see. Um so it looks like it's only, so you got Google Play, iOS, and Android. So let's check that out. The thing about mobile is, so this is independent of crypto, just so you know, Josh.
oh,
It is
you know, it doesn't
decentralized. It
do
is, I would say this is Web3, but this isn't necessarily crypto. It
but
is
there's that you don't have to like connect it to some wallet address or anything like that.
no, no, you
Oh,
don't. That's the Gitcoin passport, and that's because they're dealing with funding. So let me go back to my Bright ID. Okay, so you can have the meeting that's like on Zoom. That doesn't require you to have a crypto wallet. Um, Connect with another Bright ID user. So Bubbles and I connected with each other. I've met them in person, so I put them down as somebody that I already know. Link with an app. Um, so a lot of these apps are crypto based, um, but
I guess
you don't have to do that one. There's 9 different achievements uh, that you can get.
so. Like as you're these achievements, you're getting them, and so you're being validated as a human,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
What is it validating? Is it a wallet address that it is validating? Like what is
No, it's validating on the app. So it's actually
just
decentrally stored. So
okay?
all that's validated is that between you and me, I've identified you as a person. So that when somebody else connects with you, then they get access for that moment to your social graph information, and discover, what layer of certainty um, the app would have that you're a real person. Because people will try to game the system, right? And there might
Sure.
be groups of people that will say, "Well, I'll validate you if you validate me as this other person," right? Like basically committing fraud. Um, but at some point, you have to start interacting with other people.
Yeah.
So this is why I need to be careful, right? I mean, love Gary, but if I say that I already know Gary, but I don't, and then, um, or let's not use Gary. Person B says that, and then person B decides to enter into one of these pools where they go on and create multiple identities and validate other people. Well, then that starts to bring my reputation down. So it's through that social graph that's sort of like self-correcting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how a profile in an like on an app is going to like tie to anybody. Like, what if somebody hypothetically went on there, made a profile or whatever that was my like had my profile picture, like my name, but it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
me.
And it wasn't
You
you?
know what I mean? And it
Right,
wasn't me.
right. Well, so there's
How would like
discoverability. So if I ultimately connected with you and then it was this fake account, instead of saying I already know that person or I just met that person, I would mark that fake account as suspicious. And then
okay,
I'd say, "Hey, CK, check out this fake Josh account." CK went on there and then they marked it as suspicious. So the more people that know the real Josh start marking that account as suspicious, it begins to get dragged down the hierarchy of reliability, and then it no longer is up in the realm of validated human um, parts on the hierarchy. What's up, Lastrom?
Hey, hey.
how's it going?
What are we FAFOing today?
Dude.
We're f-
It started with emo creation, and then we got into soulbound. Would this be soulbound
this is
tokens?
decentralized
So
identification, so DID.
okay, did.
hmm So what I've done here, let me drag this over here. So this is what I did yesterday. This was part of my fun that I had yesterday. I created a space on Snapshot. I called it shoe. I used my Whimsy wallet because that's where my shoe name is. So if I go to that space, here we go. Okay, so I created a proposal, basically just time of day. And here, cast your vote. And really, it's Whimsy wallet I used to create it, and then I added myself and I added CK because I know that CK has the Bright ID. So let's go back here. I can go to my settings, and this is what I wanted to show you because this is Snapshot. It's the same thing that Decentraland uses for the DAO votes. Um, if I scroll down here, these are the strategies. So this is one of the strategies that it has for calculating VP taken straight from the Decentraland snapshot. So it's like, what network do I want to use? I want to use Polygon. And I want to use Matic. I could just as soon as use Ethereum mainnet Matic, right? And how do I want to set that up? Well, voting power is cumulative, and I want to use my mana balance, right? So I can click on this add strategy. I can add up to 8 different strategies. So one of these is, if I could spell, Bright ID. So I can add Bright ID as a way to calculate VP. If you don't have a Bright ID account, which I've already established, hopefully, that it is a decentralized identification method. So everybody that has a Bright ID account, let's say we give them 10 VP. Okay. Add that to a strategy to calculate VP. Everybody who's got a Bright ID gets 10 VP on top of your mana, on top of your land, on top of, your names, so on and so forth, right? Okay, I'm going to close this. Now, I come down here to proposal, and how do I validate anybody that's making a proposal? Well, I've just got it set to basic. Allow only authors to submit a proposal. So you'd have to be registered on my snapshot space as an author. Okay, come down here to voting, and this is where it gets interesting. This is what got me all excited. Okay, validation. Now, I can choose anyone can vote, basic, and that's anybody that has VP, or I can go here, and this is in beta. I can choose Gitcoin Passport gated. I select that. Now, I want to look at the different stamps. Okay, let me go back to Gitcoin Passport and show you those stamps again. And this is what I was talking about earlier with, say, like a GitHub account. If I choose to, okay, I guess I just, yep, okay, I'm already still connected. I can choose GitHub as a GitHub account, right? But then at what level of certainty do I want to add a GitHub account? Like, how active do I want that person to be? Well, I want to be able to give lots of VP, let's say, or validate people only for this particular vote. I want to only validate people that have spent at least 100 hours developing code. So I would come here, and they don't have to be an ENS owner, they don't have to have an ETH address, but I want, see, there's the proof of humanity. That's one of the stamps that you've got on Gitcoin Passport. You've got Twitter followers. If you've got 5,000 Twitter followers, you've got a Pope. Here's Bright ID, GitHub account. Now, underneath that is a whole bunch of other ones. GitHub repos, at least 5. You've forked a repository. You've got one of your repositories starred. You've got 50 followers, so on and so forth. So you can really add a level of granularity. This is what I was talking about with Gitcoin, where their granting system. So if I've contributed at least $1,000 to Gitcoin for these bounties, maybe those are the type of people that I want to only vote on this particular proposal. So I can be really, really, really specific.
That doesn't seem good. Like if you, it's like swaying the jury. If you just get the people that you want to vote on it, seems kind of flawed.
Okay, well here's the thing. If let's say I'm using this Knesset to award money, I don't want just anybody coming and asking for money. I want people who have spent. I want to award money to developers. So let's say I want developers who have contributed to at least 100 different grants, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Or I want them to have 50 followers, or I want them to have developed, 2 or 5 or 10 repositories. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the granularity for snapshot. So somebody that's voted in snapshot. So anybody that's voted on the DAO, anybody that's made a proposal on the DAO. And again, this is all beta, so this could change at any moment. Stakers in Gitcoin, NFT holder, Lens account, Genosis, so on and so forth. So there's all these different stamps that I could choose to add. I'm going to go back and reselect this one because that's the one that I had before. So then when somebody comes to, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Then I have to, sign it with my wallet.
So I made a bright ID thingy, and
Yeah.
I got lost, so I sent you the code.
Okay, cool.
Or a clear.
I'll check that
Yep.
out in just a second.
Mhm.
I see the message. Thank you, Sinful. Okay, so I just saved it. Now if I go back to my snapshot space, and if I want to vote on this, um, let me, yeah. So see here, this is my DCL domain. So shoe.dcl.eth. If I go to here and I'm going to vote on it with my oddjob.eth account. So I need to connect my wallet using MetaMask. I wasn't able to vote on this yesterday, so maybe it'll work today. So what is it? It's afternoon, so I'm going to vote good afternoon. Vote. Okay. You don't have any voting power. So whatever. If I go back in here and I change the settings to be, instead of having to have ETH for voting power, let's say I need a bright ID. I would add that as a strategy. So I'll click here and say bright ID. Okay. And then I get rid of this one, save it. Now, what's not going to work is this I created yesterday. So the snapshot for this, since this is off chain, it's related to what the requirements were when the proposal was created, just like when you're voting on a proposal. Maybe I just bought 100 mana and yesterday I only had 200 mana. It's not going to reflect that I have 300 VP. It's going to reflect that I have 200 VP for that particular thing. So I would have to then go in and create a new proposal with that new strategy in order for it to work. So I haven't been able to make this work, and it's whatever. I got to spend a little bit more time, but that's essentially how it would work. I would require people to have Bright ID as part of their VP, and then I would have them say maybe vote on, maybe on an election. So let me cancel this. Let me go back here. Let me create a new proposal, and this is what I'm super excited about. So let's just call this quad voting test. And who's the most awesome parkour person? Okay, you see where this is going. Now, up here under voting type, I can change it from single choice. Yes, maybe. Well, whatever. I'm gonna have Gary as an option. Where do I change that? Under here, I think I have to go back to my settings. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm an odd job. I don't have access to actually create. I got to do this under my shoe account. Sorry. I got to create the poll here with this account. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that I have my voting options selected. Okay. This is where I need to change this. That's why it didn't work for my odd job account. So I change it from single choice voting to approval voting to, look at that, quadratic voting. Also, I can choose ranked choice, or I can choose weighted voting or basic voting. So there's all these voting options. So I would choose quadratic, right? Save this, sign it. Okay, sign that. Wait for it to authenticate. Okay, it's saved. Now I'm going to come here. Not to the settings. I'm going to go back to my snapshot space. I'm going to click on new proposal with my Whimsy account. And I'm going to say best parkour master. Who's the best at parkour? Okay. Continue. Now, quadratic voting. First choice, Gary. Second option, Potradamus. OUS or US? US, I think. Who else?
Rustan.
Okay, Rustan.
Very good.
Rustan, and then we'll do Mariana just for shits and giggles. Okay, so we're gonna have it go from now till March 10th, and then I'm gonna publish it. Sign. Maybe. Okay. So now that that's created, I'm going to Alt Tab over to my Oddjob account. Squad test. Where is... Okay, here we go. Okay. So here is my quadratic voting. So basically, you take whatever VP you've got, and then you take the square root of that, and that's how much total quadratic voting credits you have. So let's say I've got 100, then I could vote with 10 quadratic voting credits. And then I would, maybe I want to vote all of my quadratic voting credits for Gary. So I'd put 10 here, right? And then I'd click vote. Now it's not going to work because it's going to say I don't have any VP. Yeah. Your voting power could not be calculated. So this is the thing that I have to figure out how to authenticate. But essentially that's how it would work. And instead of me voting with 100 VP, I would vote with the max available, which is 10. So the more VP that I get, the harder it is to. Oh Jesus! Just crashed again. That's a really nice picture, Gary. Is that you in Potradamus? Very nice. I really like those cider checkered pants. Those are like some of my favorites.
You know, those are so hard to find in the. You can't just look them up by cider.
Oh,
the
really?
name, like if you wanted to find those, you have to look it up by, you have to like find the maker, like cider. Yeah, they just don't come up under like what they should.
Hmm.
Little side note there.
Little cider note there.
Yeah, cider note. Oh yeah. Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm pretty much done with this, and I'm gonna stop the FAFO stream because we're totally far afield, and I really got to work on my emotes. But and Sinful, I'll go through and I'll stay on the voice chat. But does this, I don't know, does this help people understand kind of how this might work in Decentraland in the DAO?
Yeah, totally.
Most definitely.
So just to finish out, if I had let me get my calculator out. If I had 100,000 VP with quadratic voting, what I would do is I'd figure out the square root of 100,000. So let's do that. And those really smart people out there probably already know what this is, but I got to use my calculator. So it's 316 voting credits. So if instead of one person voting with 100,000 VP, which would only result in 316 voting credits because it's the square root of that. If I had 100 people with 1,000 VP. So let's take 1,000 VP, find the square root of that. That's 31. Okay, times. Yeah, so that would be 3,162 quadratic voting credits. So it's the same amount of VP that gets used to vote, but because of the quadratic formula, you would get 10 times as much votes for that person. Honestly, it represents the will of the people better because you've got, let's say, the one person with 100,000 VP voted against that person. And then you've got 100 people, each with 1,000 VP, voting for that person. Same amount of VP, but the way the voting credits get allocated, the more people, the 100 people that voted for them, it would be 3,162 votes yes and 362 quadratic voting credits votes against. So then you begin to properly represent what the will of the people is. But this only works if you can go against a Sybil attack where people create multiple wallets. I think Gary was putting something like that in there in the chatty chat. But that doesn't work because you need a bright ID with each of those wallets that signify, with decentralized identification, that signify that you're a real person. End scene.
End scene.
Okay.
Nicely explained.